breakfast on the way here. I'm a little ready to go. Excited to share all the great work the team has done the past many months. And just for context about me, I'm the creative lead on Into the Light, and I'll be here with you the next few weeks to talk about it.
Looking forward to it. Yeah, we've got a lot of fun stuff in store. And of course, we're joined by senior narrative designer, Mr. Jerome Viernich. How you doing today, sir?
I'm doing great. Also had coffee.
Nice.
On the highway while screaming at passing cars.
Quite a drive-in as well. And for the folks at home who may not know you as well as we've had the opportunity to learn about you over the past couple days, who are you and what do you do here at Bungie?
I am a senior narrative designer, which means if you hear a character say it, or if you read it on screen, one of us typed it into a tiny little box at some point months before.
Hanging out with Excel lots these days?
Absolutely.
There it is.
Tiny words, tiny boxes. That's me.
It's an important tool, obviously.
Absolutely.
And of course, last but very not least, one of the most deadly I've ever seen to rock the thumbsticks, especially in these past couple days, the one and only Mr. Noah Lee, activity designer here on Destiny 2.
Hey everyone, my name is Noah Lee. I'm an activity designer on Destiny 2, Into the Light. And I have the distinct pleasure of introducing us to Onslaught so we can see all the really cool things that we have in store. I'm a long-time player. I've been playing since Destiny 1, and as a player turned dev, I'm excited to show off all the stuff we have planned.
I love that so much.
Awesome. Well, hey, welcome. You guys, thank you so much for taking time to join us.
Some
Everyone in chat, I see a
some
lot
of
of
the players
activity in there as well. Thank you very much for taking time to join us today as well. But yes, today we're going to go ahead and kick things off by looking at Onslaught, which is a brand new activity coming in Destiny 2 Into the Light. For those of you out there that are Twit enjoyers that had a chance to go ahead and see what we've been posting the last week, we went ahead and released some key art last week that is now up on screen. You can see here, there's a lot going on here. So let's go ahead and just start. Tom, can you tell us a little bit about what Onslaught is?
I love the armor.
Yeah, so Onslaught is a new three-player activity that's kind of the core of Into the Light. It's available to all players.
Yeah.
And you can kind of see in this key art, like this is a kind of aspirational view of what Onslaught is in game.
Yeah.
It's a new wave defense activity. It takes inspiration from a lot of modes we looked at, like in other games and our games throughout our kind of history. And you can see here you're in the last city. And I'm really excited.
So it's a horde mode, basically.
Guardians are going to be able to hop into this space and defend the last city and eventually take the fight to the Witness's forces here. And you can kind of see you got our three Guardians. They're kind of ringed in defenses.
Yeah.
You also got like the pyramids in the sky.
Right. Yeah.
And there's even some like kind of pyramid terraforming going on in the background there.
In the city itself too. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they are at our
city. And there's a few other locations too. Maybe we'll talk about later.
Talk about that later. Yeah. So also too, Jerome, this is not the first time obviously we've ever had to go ahead and defend ourselves on our own turf, but never quite like this before. Our heels are dug in. We're in the last city right now. Can you tell us a little bit more about what's going on here?
Absolutely. So for the past several seasons, the forces of the Witness have been closing their vice grip around the Sol system. The Witness is inside the Traveler doing nefarious deeds, enacting the final shape.
Right.
Time is on its side.
Yeah.
We have worked with ancient magics, esoteric rituals, bargaining with our old foes in order to send someone through the portal and establish a bridge, and we chose Crow.
Yeah.
Now, until he makes contact with us, we are back at home sharpening our knives.
Yeah.
Now, the Witness, of course, will do everything that it can to keep us on this side of the portal.
Understand.
Which means unleashing every bit of its resources, every part of its power against us to keep us pinned in the last city. So this is about breaking out and discovering new power, right? Sharpening ourselves, finalizing our builds, and getting some new toys so that we can face down the Witness.
That's right. And we're also getting some help from a tried and true sharpener of Guardians as well. Shaxx is going to be helping us out as well, right?
Absolutely. Where some see calamity, Shaxx sees opportunity.
Yeah.
And he is going to be opening up his arsenal for us to enjoy. I think we'll hear about that next week, right?
New weapons?
And yeah, he'll be your vendor, and I'm really excited for players to hear from him.
Awesome. As someone who spends a lot of time in the Crucible, it's always good to spend more time with Shaxx. Inspirational, to say the least.
Absolutely. High volume.
Yeah, honestly.
Or old
weapons. Part of him. You just throw more grenades.
Maybe he has some of the Black Army
maybe a hint
weapons.
to us all. And of course, no, there's a lot also too going on here. I see turrets. I see other activity defenses. Obviously, we're going to jump into some gameplay here, but before we do, can you tell us a little bit about what we're going to see when we dive in to play some Onslaught here live in just a bit?
Yeah, of course. So something that's really cool about Onslaught compared to a lot of our activities in Destiny is, like Tom said, it's not an offensive, it's a defensive. Our goal is to defend the ADU, or Advanced Defense Unit, which allows us us to build our defenses like turrets, tripwires, decoys, and the main goal is to make sure that that thing stays up for all of your waves that you're fighting in.
Yeah.
And if that goes down at any point, regardless if you're on playlist, normal, or on legend difficulty, your game will end. So the main goal is to keep your defenses safe, build them up, upgrade them, and try to get as far as you can.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm really excited for
Interesting.
gameplay. I want to see
hints. I like
gameplay.
what I'm hearing.
You know, I had to do it. And another thing, just really quickly,
Yeah,
we
please.
had a lot of learnings from some of our activities in the seasons, like deep dives and the coil, where we know players like when we escalate difficulty over time.
Yeah.
So that's a key feature of Onslaught. You go from wave 1 to wave 50, each 10, escalating in difficulty, as we're going to see in gameplay. And that serves a really cool opportunity for players to test their builds.
Yeah.
And, you know, the waves of enemies that we're fighting against are the whetstone by which we are sharpening ourselves.
Excellent. Yes, build crafters, you're on notice. Be prepared for what's to come. All right. Well, I say there's no time like the present. We are seeing a lot of requests in chat for gameplay. I think we can go ahead and dive on in.
The Throne World.
Noah, would you mind returning to your Throne World briefly to go ahead and kick things off here?
My tithes.
Obviously, yeah, we got to get some tithes for the man himself. In the meantime, really
All right,
quickly,
let's see how good
obviously,
he is.
with Onslaught being a brand new activity, we're going to kick things off in a very different way. Can you tell us a little bit about what we're going to see when we go ahead and start things off?
Yeah, you're going to see it in the gameplay here in just a second, but Onslaught is about kind of establishing a defensive kind of like beachhead in these contested territories where we're like trying to claw space back from the witness.
Certainly.
And we're going to see it in Midtown here in a moment. And so players start off with you and two other maybe friends you found that you play with all the time, or maybe you matchmake you in with, and you're going to push forwards with Shax's Red Jacks. You're going to see here. You'll establish a defensive area. You'll deploy the advanced defense unit, and then you'll start placing defenses.
Yeah.
As Noah said, there's turrets, there's trip mines, there's decoys. The decoys is our favorite little sweepy
That's
bot.
right. Yep.
And
back to help once again.
And you can upgrade those too. Like the way the activity works is you defeat enemies to collect scrap, which is our currency, and then you can spend that to deploy these defenses. And you're gonna have to be kind of selective. Like each of these defensive locations can move around throughout the activity.
Right. Yeah.
And here we go.
Oh, awesome.
We already got some
gameplay
action here.
Yes.
So we're over here trying to create a foothold for our ADU, supported by Shax's lovely Red Jacks. You know, we know and love
Midnight
them.
coup.
And as soon as we've cleared out the Elixni that are here, or the Fallen, our ADU's here. As we see, we got some batteries in
Midnight
tow,
coup,
and this
baby.
begins
It's coming back.
Our first really interesting part of this activity, which is our purchase phase. Killing enemies will grant you scrap, like we see in the top left, and we have 30 seconds to pick one of a suite of upgrades. We have tripwires that you can buy for 1,000, decoy, which is our lovely sweeper bot here, and turrets. I know people are very curious about turrets, so I'm just going to buy this first.
There we go.
But we have our lovely guests, Clayton and Ashley, who have helped create this activity in our playtest team. They're with me helping fill out the fire team, and they're building their defenses.
It's always best to have some solid teammates. And also, for the folks in chat noticing some weapons, go ahead and just go ahead and observe everything you can possibly see on screen. Oh, it's okay. We're going to have plenty of time to dig through those inventory screens. But in the meantime, chat is connecting some dots with the things they may have seen in the key art. But also, too, so Jerome,
So what was the other weapon we seen in the key art?
The ADU is here for a purpose. Can you help us
So we're
understand a
right.
little bit about the role that plays in the defense?
Well, you
that
didn't
we're
see me
mounting
talk
against the
about it,
weapons?
but
Absolutely.
I figured it was the Midnight coup.
When all of the Guardians and their allies enter the port to face down the witness, Earth will be essentially undefended.
Yeah.
So it's important that we establish solid defenses now and claw back as much territory as we can in advance of our assault. I also want to just point out...
Tongue jury?
I know we're not going to be able to look at it, and we'll see the weapons next week, but we've got some beautiful new lore on those weapons, and so any of those lore hounds, make sure you check out those tabs.
Yeah, it's we will be only maybe looking at whatever happens to show up on the stream today, but yes, this is the Brave Arsenal, as it will be known. Players will get a chance to go ahead and be more intrinsically involved with this. We'll have more information on that in the coming weeks, but for those out there that are observing maybe some previous Guardian favorite weapons out there, worry not. You'll have lots of information to learn over the next coming weeks.
So I want to kind of get started on kind of what players have been seeing since we've been talking about
Please,
as a whole. As we're able to see, like, the ADU has a health over its head right here, and we have enemies in waves coming to try to defeat it. If you've been paying attention, we have high-value targets that are mini-bosses or elites called saboteurs, which drop these repair batteries. And for other attempted players, we can see that there are champions involved. So, you know, bring your champion weapons. Make sure that you are well equipped for this. We have different waves and different augments like we're seeing on Wave 3 that demand your immediate attention. We know Destiny players like to run and gun, so we try to get you out of the space of the ADU sometimes so that you can kind of do those objectives to make sure that, oh yeah, I can explore Midtown and all these other spaces when we have the other maps that you see.
Crucible enjoyers know this space pretty well. It'll be a chance for everyone to go ahead and check it out. But also, too, actually, no, thank you, Noah, for checking that out. Obviously, the pyramids have been busy in here helping to go ahead and mount this offensive.
Yeah, I think they have an eye for decoration.
Yeah, honestly, they're doing a great job. I got to give them credit. They keep it consistent. But Jerome, these are pyramid ships in our own backyard that are going to go ahead and just try and terraform the city. Or can you help us learn what's going on here?
Well, they don't have to do anything. I mean, the witness is doing what it wants to do, and if we don't stop it, then it's game over. So they really just need to keep us pinned. The witness is inevitable. There's no way we could defeat every one of the witness's soldiers. There's no way we could, you know, fight them one by one.
We'll try.
We have to deal with the witness head on inside the Traveler, and we'll do that soon.
So also too, you know, obviously getting to go ahead and send players away from the ADU is pretty significant when it comes to accomplishing all of the tasks in front of you here in Onslaught. But Tom, can you tell us a little bit about the defenses as well? Like, I think we see some trip mines up already set and ready to go.
Yeah, you can see the horizontal beams. Those are trip mines. As you upgrade them, the colors will change. You'll be able to do more damage and kind of fire off more
trip mines get more charges. And they get more in size. If you upgrade it, you'll go from 1 trip mine to 2, as we see here, which is really nice. I'm going to keep going.
And then we've also got the turrets. Noah, if you could show off a turret in a second.
Oh, yeah.
Those as well. When you can upgrade those three levels as well, they change color, they deal more damage, they get more health.
Their fire rate increases, actually, also.
And then we've also got the Sweepy Bot, who do also, those decoys, mostly just gain health and change color a little bit. But the idea here is, like, each of these defensive locations, we're going to kind of randomly pick defenses for you to deploy. And it's up to you kind of to make the best choices and use your limited resources, the scrap that you're collecting, to make the best choices there, because you're not going to have all the currency you need right off the bat to, like, you know, of course, deploy everything and upgrade everything. You're going to have to be like, no, maybe we want this turret, or maybe it seems like enemies are coming more from this direction. Maybe we should have these trip mines.
Let's focus our attention and abilities maybe in a different direction. Let the trip mines and turrets do some work in a different direction.
Something I want to bring up is we actually have a bonus objective going on right now. We have secondary objectives that occasionally appear in waves, and this one is just to complete the wave within a certain amount of time. And if you complete that while you're defending the ADU, you got to make sure that's alive. You'll actually get a reward, which is a heavy ammo crate that will refill your ammo. When you get higher up in the waves and you get more difficult enemies and like larger waves of stuff, like that is definitely something you're going to be trying to get. And that kind of ties into the team coordination you can do. Like, if you have a good team in the higher difficulties, you're going to need a little bit more coordination. You might need somebody to go out and do the augments and somebody to go out and do the critical objectives.
And also too, so just to make sure, Tom, as well, this isn't the only ADU we're going to be defending in this activity. It moves around the map.
So as Noah said earlier, there's 50 waves in our challenge version of this activity. So there's a playlist version. Which is just
there's a certain amount of waves.
Easy, quick, fun to hop into. You do 10 waves and you're done. And then there's the challenge version, which we're showing here. So there's 50 waves or 5 sets of 10 waves is how we like to talk about it. And with each of those sets of ways, we move around the map between 3 different locations. And so you'll start at one ADU, you'll defend it, you'll take the fight to the witness for a little bit, you'll get back, and then you'll build up defenses more, and then go fight a boss.
Which is what we're seeing as well right now. Like, we're on board a pyramid ship now, right?
This is one of my favorite phases.
A boss.
Where instead of defending the ADU, we take the fight to them, and as you see, we cultivate a spark of light, and it's time to run it down, destroy the witness's lieutenants, and, you know, do a fun backflip. Let's hope I can pull that off.
Do the backflip.
It's important. If you don't do the backflip, chat's going to be very upset. I can already tell.
Very.
Here we go.
Look at that.
Here we go. Ooh. You make it look so easy, Noah.
Because I'm just good.
He is good. He's doing pretty well. I'm not going to.
We're also on the first set of waves. So.
It's going to get a little spicier later. The first few waves are they're kind of like the training wheels.
Right, yeah. Because you were saying, too, there's a
It seemed like it'd be really fun.
50, was it?
Yes, there's a 10-wave version called Onslaught Playlist.
Okay.
If you're in for, you want to be in for a short session, I think that's definitely the place for you. Onslaught, in our experience from playtesting, is really easy to lose track of time and just kind of keep going. You can always be like, just one more wave, a few more sets, and then you're like, dang, it's been an hour. Like, it's actually crazy.
Noah, I got a question, if you don't mind. How do you decide whether to unlock new defenses or upgrade the ones you've already got?
So it really is a risk-reward thing. As we're seeing, like, when you upgrade defenses, they will exponentially increase in price, which means that you have to make a decision every purchase phase, like, do I want to save my money to potentially upgrade something down the line and also hope that that defense, lives long enough to be upgraded? Or am I just going to bite the bullet and buy something now that can help me immediately? My strategy usually is that in the first few waves, I will not buy anything to just save up for later, and usually my teammates will do something.
Yeah.
That's where communication comes in. If you just do that by yourself, I don't think your teammates will be very happy with you.
It's fair. As always, keeping the comms crisp is very important, especially as you get those higher difficulty levels. Because, we're just in the kind of the fledgling waves of this right now. But, when we were doing our playtest yesterday, things got crazy in a hurry. I hope we get to see some more of the craziness we saw yesterday. But I don't want to spoil anything for chat. Obviously, there's plenty to be discovered in this.
Something I neglected to mention, which we've been doing this whole time, is the ADU batteries will actually heal it, kind of similar to like Forges in the Black Armory from my real vets out there. And the ADU, the enemies are naturally compelled to come over here and attack it. They'll shoot it, they'll knife at it, but also if there's any enemies that stay in the radius of the ADU, you'll see it'll turn red and damage will start to tick. So that's when you need to throw your ADU batteries in there and you'll get scrap for that. But if your ADU's full on health, you'll actually get 3 times the amount of scrap. So it's in your best interest to try to keep it as healthy as possible because you might be able to snowball your defenses.
Interesting. So especially if you're really pushing for those later levels and then like the 40s and 50s, maybe it just behooves you to hold on.
Oh yeah.
Levels 50s. Or so, let your abilities and weapons do the talking for a little bit.
50s are no joke. Oh my God.
There we go. We got one of the bigger mobs on the way.
So here's one of our augments, just demolitionists. We get these huge ultras that come in and just they're beeline for the ADU.
Yeah.
Since we're on the first wave, they're not that difficult, but I promise you, wave 40, wave 50, these guys are tanky. They require a lot of attention. And
give some credit in making it look easy as well.
Like I said, I'm just that guy.
He's been preparing for this moment. Also, too, actually, let's talk a little bit of build crafting. What are you running right now, Noah?
So I'm not treading new ground here. I'm a Night Stalker by heart. I got my Gerfalcons on. We actually, off screen, we're figuring out how it's pronounced. But Gerfalcons, everyone, so anyone who mispronounces it, that's how you say it. Doing that, I love Buried Bloodline. It's a great weapon from Warlord's Ruin. I love the Catalyst. I'm just doing that because we might see some Tormentors, who knows? And I like precision when we're doing that because, rockets aren't very effective against.
See, over the past day or so, as we've been getting prepared for the stream, I'll admit my jealousy for Buried Bloodline has only been growing. I'm a big fan of Graviton Lance. We get along very well, but I gotta say, the precision that you've been getting out of Buried Bloodline makes me upset that I haven't just gone ahead and buckled down and gotten the farming done to get that thing unlocked, honestly.
Yeah, great. So as we see, we are actually in the pyramid again for the boss. We're taking the fight back to the Witness's forces, and this brings up a really interesting part of all of the boss phases where instead of having immune shields or immune phases, we have different augmentations that allow you to increase your effectiveness against the boss. So for example, this one is Augmentation Well. If you stand in these wells and defeat high value targets, you will actually deal increased damage to the boss for the rest of the fight. That's something, because these are meant to be
like that.
victory
Little
laps,
mechanics.
You've survived against the ADU, it is time to just single-mindedly take down the boss.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. I like
Also, too,
mechanics.
actually, really quickly, Tom, so I know we
Instead of waiting
touched on
for
there
a
being
shield to come
10 and
down.
50 wave versions, but we got a question in chat from Tirkinator. Is it random matchmaking? Do you get to bring your own fire team in? Both?
So playlist is random matchmaking, or you can bring your fire team in, and then I believe the challenge modes, of which there is a normal version and like a hard version, which goes up to GM, I believe that the normal version is match made. We can correct on socials maybe for the second one. I don't think it's match made, but I think everything supports Fire Team Fighter.
Cool, awesome. Yeah, obviously. And honestly, too, it never hurts to bring in your own GM crew if you're pushing 50 waves.
No, we definitely want you to communicate in that activity on the upper end, especially. You're going to have a much better time.
Yeah, honestly. Also, too, actually, while we're kind of on that subject, I remember something you mentioned earlier was, kind of one of the goals, I think, from a design standpoint you were mentioning was that it's kind of just easy to get lost in this activity. The combat sandbox that Destiny has, sometimes you just want to throw down and just Destiny builds go crazy, and this is something that really seems to facilitate
what
that.
I'm seeing right now, it looks
on the stream
fun.
Here, we're going to go deeper and deeper here.
But my thing is, how long is this going to keep people's
the second set?
attention?
We're at a new
how long
defensive
people will
location. You can
actually
see
be
here
playing
the
this?
river walk in here, and
I think it's all going to come down to the weapons, like what kind of weapons and stuff, and roles and stuff. People keep playing it over and over again. Like,
that's right. Yeah,
I'm just going to probably play it for the first couple days, week, or whatever.
Has changed. So when Jerome mentioned it
Especially if it
earlier,
has good guns
every
and
single
good
one
roles.
of the armies at the Witness's behest is going to go ahead and be a part of this fight potentially. Or which ones are they, rather? Or if you don't mind me asking, I should say, Jerome. This is your.
Yeah, we've got Fallen and Hive are going to be pressing the last city, but the Taken are definitely active elsewhere.
Yeah.
They're sort of they're being marshaled for other purposes, which I won't.
Other elements of the seasonal story are yet to be revealed. We'll let that obviously uncover itself as time goes on naturally. Yeah, there's plenty for the lore hounds out there to go ahead and discover. Jerome, when you're putting together a story like this, obviously kind of helping us realize what the Witness's mission is, like what was kind of some of your inspiration as you kind of looked at this activity and the opportunity it presented to the narrative team?
We always start with the characters, like the emotions of the characters, from their perspective, how they would see things, how they would react.
Certainly.
And so that's what made Shaxx a natural fit for this. It's such a gear-focused activity. It's so ferocious. We needed a voice that matched that level of intensity.
Yeah.
And so that's where we came up with Shaxx.
Yeah, Shaxx is like the perfect hype man for this, right?
It's so great when you get later in the rounds and he just kind of makes you feel like you can keep going.
I mean, that's his goal, right? The Crucible is not a forgiving place, and he's there bringing folks in every single day that he possibly can. So
he's been preparing us for this. That's what the Crucible is for.
No, and that's a great way to look at this. The Crucible is preparing, fighting other Guardians to sharpen ourselves to fight a war. And this is just fighting a war.
Yeah, honestly, this is what we've been sharpening ourselves for. This is that moment. Also, too, kind of in that theme, we got a question from Cozy Spartan in chat. Are there any other weapons that are coming back? As a quick reminder, this is the first of three streams as well. So next week we're going to be talking about that. So make sure and mark your calendar and tune in then. Today, this is just a taste of Onslaught and kind of a first look at what's to come in the brand new activity. Joining us with Destiny 2 Into the Light.
I'm out of money. I'm broke. No.
All out of scrap already?
Yes. I bought one thing. I spent it on these two turrets, which have been performing pretty well, actually. I'm a person, I prefer to upgrade a few things because their effectiveness is much more heightened when you upgrade it. So I feel like if you all pool your resources to make a few traps really good, that might serve you well, but who knows? I know when you do Legendary and you're in GM, you're really going to need those defenses to help you out because those enemies are powerful and they are focusing down your ADU unrelentingly.
Yeah. All right, so we've touched on there are 3 different defensive tools at our disposal between the turrets, the trip mines, and obviously the decoy sweep bot. And those are upgradable, if I remember correctly?
Yes.
Correct. Cool. How far do those go? Like what level would be? 3? Awesome. And as I understand it, too, there's a pretty steep progression as they go ahead and continue leveling up. That scrap really ends up being worth it.
They become more expensive, but they also it's not like a linear progression. It's more logarithmic. They kind of jump up in power. Yeah. But you got to keep them safe, too, right? The enemies, you might get an augmentation where one of those big knights or big fallen captains comes in and just smashes them.
Yeah.
And so you definitely want to try to keep the space clear.
Yeah. A brig drops in from low orbit and smashes it into bits.
Yeah.
It's been known to happen. Who knows?
Now, in that instance, if one of your defenses is destroyed, destroyed, do you repurchase it at level 1?
Yes, you lose that.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And that's one thing you have to watch out for with trip mines. You know, like I said, they have charges, and they will just, you know, they will go out on their own, but that's why they're so cheap. You're going to have to rebuy them once you run out of charges.
Yeah, and also, I think I saw a question in chat. I missed the name, so apologies to whoever asked this. Is Scrap individual, or is it Fire Team wide?
So we've got an interesting way of doing it. So the Fire Team earns Scrap together, but you each get to spend individually. Oh. So you can't mess up your Fire Team mates by like overspending. You've got your own little stock, your own little wallet, purse of Scrap to spend. So you can coordinate if you want, or you could just spend how you see fit to help the team.
Yeah.
In general, like anything you purchase is just going to help.
Yeah, as someone too, like in the past, I've played, you know, personally like a lot of wave-based defense games. There we go. When it comes to the upgrades, I imagine, like you were saying, it's pretty logarithmic. Is there a feeling of wanting to, instead of getting, you know, 3 level 1 turrets, get 1 level 3 turret, for example? Like, is that power gain kind of the one you want to be chasing if you're pushing those higher levels?
I think it's definitely valuable to do that as long as you can keep it safe.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, sometimes it might be better to spread out the
that's true.
The damage, but like a lot of that's going to vary like which augments or which enemies are coming in.
Yeah.
And you're not going to be able to control that. You're just going to have to react. Like it might be. This might be an easy wave of just some thrall. Yeah. But it could be a bunch of exploder shanks too.
Yeah. We made sure
Tom, who would put a bunch of exploder shanks into a wave? Who on Earth would possibly be responsible for that?
You can blame Noah. You can blame me for drop pods. You can blame Noah.
I've done a lot.
Everyone who's spoken to their therapist about Cabal drop pods, you can go ahead and charge that directly to Tom. You can follow him on Twitter right now.
Oh no.
Yeah. Noah, Jerome, out of curiosity too, when it comes to kind of the seasonal story and where this fits in. So again, we're digging our heels in, fighting against the Witness, just sharpening ourselves. The next step pretty much is just to go ahead and hold out for as long as we can in preparation for that next battle, I'm assuming?
Absolutely. We're waiting for Crow to essentially build a bridge in concert with Mara, with help from Osiris and others. And so it's really the universe is on Crow's shoulders.
Yeah.
And we couldn't imagine anyone better suited for the task.
Yeah.
Crow has come a long way in a short amount of time.
Yeah.
And I think he deserves an opportunity to show what he can do.
So he put it down 4,000 to upgrade.
Yeah, we went ahead and chased him into the next into the astral
down?
plane. Well, I just shot at him until he ran away, but your way's better. He's earned his spot. He's ready to go, obviously. All right, Noah, where are we at? What are we looking at right now?
So right now we're looking at one of our waves. Like I was trying to say earlier, we actually have a wide diversity of waves, like as we've seen with the Hive and the Fallen, that it's not just, you know, fighting acolytes and thralls every time. We have different compositions. So this is a wave full of exclusively ogres and cursed thrall. Cursed thrall are nice because it allows you to chunk the ogres if they're grouped up.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they're cursed thralls, and as we see, they are just booking it straight toward the ADU.
These ogres seem very dedicated to their task out of the gate, honestly. It seems like within a millisecond, they're just lighting up anything they can possibly see.
Yeah, I think they're really dedicated to the Witness, and you know, I think they're also kind of stupid. So they're just doing what they know.
I'm not brave enough to say that to an ogre's face, but I respect you for being able to do so.
So we're seeing another bonus objective here, actually, which is there are going to be pyramid splinters that spawn. That's a great. Now, where are they?
I think there's one up behind you, Noah.
Oh, right here. Look at that. And then if you keep following it, kind of leads you away from the space, and can't find my business.
There we go.
We're able to get heavy ammo, which I desperately need because my berry bloodline is out of ammo.
That's right, I never heard that.
So there's tension, right? When those splinters lead you away from the ADU, right? You need to kind of have split your attention in two directions.
Yeah, that's something that we were really wanting to index on. So for these not critical objectives, for these augments, they kind of incentivize players to like leave the ADU and kind of have roles. As we see, we got splinter mines and you have guards that are guarding them. We have Clayton and Ashley doing that for me while I defend the ADU. And that kind of means that you have less people defending. Like the wave is still coming towards you, but there's things you have to do, and those distractions, which aren't really optional, are kind of what gives you that tension and kind of allows for interesting build crafting decisions. Like, that's something I kind of wanted to go into, something that excites me as somebody who's kind of seen how our seasonal meta kind of develops with things like Strand Titan and Solar over and over.
Yeah.
I'm interested in seeing if interesting things come out of like Onslaught. You're not trying to stay alive yourself, you're trying to keep this ADU alive, which is a object completely separate from you. So like, is stasis going to to be more useful. We're seeing Ashley use Arc. She's using Arc Souls, which has proven to be really useful against the Fallen. Like, is Risk Runner going to be something people want to use? Or Trinity Ghoul or Sunshot? Oh,
we're gonna forget that happened. That's fine.
Yeah.
So also too, when it comes to the build crafting element, I can probably imagine when you're doing the GM difficulties, like it's not just your own build you're worried about, but making sure you have that communication across your team, across champion mods, across element types. Like this probably
like that.
Make sure you're keeping track of throughout this.
He should be back up.
There's a lot going on in the activity from a moment perspective. We have a bunch of different wave types, augments, different squad compositions and different bosses as we're seeing, and augments there. So really, like, build is king. Like, you're still shooting bad guys, using your abilities, using space magic, but it's all a matter of like how you use it in each situation. Like, maybe you want something more offensive when you're fighting a boss, or bring in that spark and rift. But when you're in the ADU, you might want something that'll help you hunker down.
Actually, too, we're on that subject of augments. Something you mentioned yesterday I thought was pretty cool were boss augments as kind of the levels continued to progress.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about those?
So we just did an augment just now that had capture points spawn in the arena. Oh, we have one right here. And what that does is that calls in turrets that will eventually come and help us out. If we call both of them, they'll all activate, and that serves to kind of get some heat off of you.
Yeah.
And just overall kind of help, like, these are level 3 turrets. You see them in blue. They're looking really nice and spiffy.
Yeah. And again, you were saying at level 3, the fire rate also increases?
Yes, fire rate, health, and damage increases for them. But they cost 6,000 scrap, so you're going to need to save up a lot.
Okay.
I think it's 12,000 scrap altogether for like going from level 1.
Can you just roll that leftover Shrieker Eye into some enemies, maybe just for the? Oh, it fell off.
Where'd it go?
All right.
Go full?
Yep. No.
The void calls.
All right. So what level are we on now? Out of curiosity,
we're on wave 20.
Was that 20? Okay, cool, awesome. Man, this is going well, honestly. Yeah, I will say, especially after yesterday, we learned that Noah is one of the most dangerous to ever wield the 2 thumbsticks out there. To all the PvP streamers as well, go ahead and challenge him openly on the internet.
Hey, I go flawless, check my KD.
Okay. Yeah, that's right.
I thought you were the gilded one.
Well, I don't want to brag, but as a 4 times gilded flawless, I mean, I'll let you guys brag for that.
Wow. Hey, I'm gonna brag too. I got Riven's Bane back in Forsaken. Petrol's run, that was tough. All my Riven's Banes out there, we know what's up. And Shadows. Y'all got it.
There's a chapter of everyone's dream journal dedicated to that particular time in their lives, obviously. Drop the Bungie ID, they're saying. Perhaps, I'll leave that up to him. That is his...
Oh, I can do it. No, I'll do it. Check my rave report. Check my dungeon. Hey, I'm there, bro.
Noah is ready, honestly. He's prepared for this moment. Let's see here.
So new ADU, new location?
Yep.
Yes, that's something I neglected to mention. So every time you do a boss, you will actually change locations. And let me just buy something real quick because I have money. But the defenses you pick, like that you placed before in your previous locations, those will still be active. So that means that you building up your defenses over time, you obviously can't upgrade these since they're not at the location you're on. But they will help you when the waves get harder. So you having a level 3 turret or level 3 decoy somewhere, that will actually help you out, and you'll be able to take aggro from the waves. Like we see, hey, the turret right there doing damage to the knights. That it all kind of helps that feeling of feeling like you're Vanguard and the last city, like you're helping to defend them. These emplacements are permanent and not just temporary.
Okay. You're really, really digging the trenches and setting yourself in. Okay, again, we'll put that on the list of things that chat didn't see. We get a veto. That's the one that everyone gets to forget. Sorry, chat, but that didn't just happen.
Everyone makes mistakes, man.
Also, too, actually, JR Bizzle in chat asks, are the rewards going to be tied to the wave you get to? Now, I know Noah kind of mentioned this a little bit when he was referencing the coil earlier, but obviously there's between the level 10, or pardon me, the 10 wave and the 50 wave versions, what's the reward story for each one?
So in all the activities, every time you beat 10 waves and you beat the boss, you'll get a chest.
Okay.
Rewards.
So every 10 waves, you get, okay.
And then in the challenge mode, there's a normal and the hard version of those. In the normal version, you get a normal chest all the way until the last wave. You can beat the final wave.
Yeah.
You'll get double rewards.
Oh, okay.
And then if you play the hard mode, you get additional rewards in all the waves.
Excellent.
Okay. And so there's some little surprises there too. We might have along the way at the end as well, just if you're lucky.
Excellent. Yeah. For the ones that are really going to go ahead and try it a few times out, maybe there's an additional variable thrown in there from time to time. Excellent. Yeah. Also, too, actually, Kurt Jones 29 asks, how do revives work in this activity, both between normal and legend?
So that's actually a great question.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Now there is not. Oh my good lord! Give me a second.
What a great time to think critically. The Tormentor on your doorstep.
I can answer that for Noah. Noah, take down the Tormentor. The way the revives work is like in the first 2 sets, darkness is off. But when we get to the 3rd set, we turn darkness on. So if you all go down or the ADU goes down, the activity's over.
That's it. Okay. So you just take the rewards you got from the 2.
And in Legend, that's on by default.
Yeah, you don't lose any rewards. Every set you complete, you'll get rewards.
Yeah.
But if you're halfway through a set and you fail, that's it.
That's it. Just take your lunchbox and go home.
Yeah, well, you can hop right back in the playlist. Or hop right back in with your friends and try again.
Which is what I'm going to do, frankly. Honestly, like when this was getting developed behind the scenes here, and we were kind of getting a sense of what Into the Light was going to be, I got to tell you, like just the I don't know, the ability to just go ahead and keep diving back in, testing new builds. I'm sure I'm not the only one who has every single one of their loadout slots filled with some hyper-specific loadout that I'm deeply in love with in its own way. And so I feel like this is the exact right time to go ahead and just continue diving in and just, bolstering those loadouts to begin with the Brave Arsenal, which again, we'll be talking about next week, don't you worry. But also too, is just get a chance to go ahead and really see how they can thrive in environments just outside of, even as difficult as GMs can be, find something that really pushes it beyond that standard level that we're used to.
Yeah, and you're going to need to be ready for a lot. We're trying to throw a lot of variety at you, right? Those are 2 combatant factions that you're going to be facing, and the Fallen Hive that can randomly be in there when you start the mission. There's the multiple defensive locations, then there's like the progression of the waves, there's augments, all these things are kind of working together in concert to like test your ability to coordinate as a team and in your build game too.
Excellent. Also, too, actually, Optimal Pickle in chat, wonderful name, I might add, is also curious. I know we just talked about scrap gathering, obviously, and how everyone kind of gets their own purse. Are you able to gift that scrap to other people, or you just get your own purse as a result of it?
You just get your own
purse. Gift the scrap, but you can both, like if someone places something else, you can upgrade it.
Okay.
You can coordinate.
Got it. They can drop to level 2, you can upgrade, or they can drop to level 1, you can upgrade it to level 2. Nice. Very good. All right, that communication is going to be...
we wanted to keep it simple and fast. Like we didn't want to have, we did a lot of work to make sure it was as streamlined as it could be, because currency can get complicated if you're not careful about it.
In the heat of battle, honestly, it's like a sweeper bot,
nobody
whatever.
Wants to open their wallet and be like, you got a 5?
Yeah, exactly, Can you break 3,000 scrap?
I'm getting shot here.
That's right. Just a little bit, it's okay. Yeah, Ghost will help you out with that.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, but you do have like
in the waves, and they're getting a little bit more
in between waves.
Yeah, you guys are murdering your way through this. Is going
great. But I see they just wanted to keep it simple.
Another thing I really
you get your own scrap.
Like the fact you can get lost in it.
You can upgrade other people's stuff if they place something down.
And just like if you want to do bounties, if you want to do triumphs, you've got things you want to level up, catalysts, like just like hop in Onslaught and chill. And you'll be able to really tear through a lot of enemies and like.
Hear that, everyone? You can leave the opening gates of Grasp of Avarice, finally.
or Shirochi, you don't have to farm there anymore. You don't have to input that wish.
Yeah, and some waves are really like hard, and other waves like you've just got a bunch of guys coming down a hallway and you unload your supers, unload your ammo, and it feels awesome.
Yeah,
really like have that peak power fantasy.
Yeah, it's also too. No, you're getting some cred in chat for your ability to dispatch champions. I don't know why people are asking about a Bungie dev fighting champion mobs. I don't know if that's a reference to something, but you'll have to remind us in chat. I don't know if I recall that moment necessarily.
Opponents and survive.
Oh, I know what they're talking about. I'm telling you, I'm that guy. I'll drop the Bungie app. I don't care, man. Check me out.
I believe you, honestly.
I envy that level of confidence.
Talking about Joe.
I hide in the background. I have
my
name
gosh.
It's just Andy.
They're never going to let that go.
A field of other Andys with all of our little hash numbers at the end of our name, honestly. Though if you see the one with the dead man's tail, you know that's me for certain.
Great weapon. One of my favorites, honestly.
It's so good. It's so stylish. It's just like my favorite gun in any video game ever, honestly. It's really, really good. Though then again, we get along pretty darn well. Okay, so we're back on the pyramid ship.
Yes, every 6 waves, actually, you're going to...
6.
On the 6th wave of each thing, so 6, 16, 26, 36, etc.
Okay.
You will take the fight to the witness and have a cool little encounter that's, it feels like an action movie. You and your team get to run down against waves of combatants, in this hallway, and then there's an invincible warden at the end, and the only way to dispatch him and move on is you have to dunk in the wrist.
Palate cleanse.
Oh, and he pushed me.
Little breather.
Yeah, absolutely.
All the waves.
Also, too, actually, Jerome, from a lore standpoint, from a mechanic standpoint, obviously this helps, make sure that we're pushing forward in the activity and we've got an appropriate challenge. But why are the Guardians able to go ahead and even head back into these pyramid ships to go
took us a long time to gain that power.
Yeah.
And now it's sort of permeable. It can go both ways, right?
Yeah.
The Witnesses forces are much more able to access our space, as we can see right there in the middle of Midtown. But we are also able to access their space more.
Yeah.
So it's a double-edged sword, so to speak.
They opened that door. Now they can't take
That's
it back.
right.
The Guardians are going to be in there emoting and meddling and having a grand old time. See? There we go. Let's go ahead and flex your raid emotes. It's all right. Let's get it out of the way. I say that bitterly jealous because I don't have any of them. Took the wave 27 out. All right.
Ooh.
Oh my lord.
Yeah, this is starting to get spicy out here.
All right. Let's lock in, guys.
Sorry, we're just making it more theatrical.
Yeah, we totally aren't trying at all. It's super easy.
I just know I'm going to turn a corner and there's going to be the cursed thrall, like, right there. You'll see it.
Oh, all right.
I got alt-tabbed a little bit.
Oh, alt-tab.
Alt-tabbed? Okay, all right.
Technical
I was about to say,
I got alt-tabbed again.
I was like, as it turns out, yep,
behind
everyone's
the
screen.
screen.
Yep. Also, too, just
go.
for everyone's awareness, too, we're here live in the dev environment. So what you're seeing is obviously a quick peek behind the scenes. But yeah, we're obviously working off of a dev build right now.
I mean, he looks pretty good for just a dead build.
My favorite is the like quick draw gunslinger one.
Yeah.
Hunter, I actually just bought it. I was like, I need it.
The solar one that kind of does like the twirl around his finger. Oh yeah.
I was like, I need that. So I'll give up anything.
I got it. I think it was it Guardian Games last year where you got the chair to go ahead and just send them flying at 1,000 miles an hour.
It's hard to beat
never
the
gets old. Yeah, absolutely never gets old.
It looks like Ashley and Clayton are just carrying me right now. They're going crazy.
I mean, it is their job to be good at that.
I mean, they've been doing this for months. I mean, they don't really have the technically the world's first, but
Yeah, we're the
That's right. Yeah. In our hearts.
no, it really that's going to be for players, right? We want all of you.
I mean, that's good to see that devs actually know how to play the
which is also
game.
really exciting. It's kind of like a big gift from all of us here at Bungie to all of you out there, all of our guardians, our community.
No, all of them aren't dog water.
We're excited to be able to get you all buffed to take on the Witness.
Yeah. It's not going to be easy, obviously. Just another opportunity to equip everyone, obviously.
Something I wanted to mention, just to like get a little peek behind the curtain when it comes to our friend Sweeperbot here, is he used to be the best decoy in the game, like better than all his other tiered variants, because there was a bug where only the broom would take any damage, and as we see, he's really skinny, so he was like basically nigh untouchable.
Functionally immortal Sweeperbot.
Oh my god.
Must be nice, obviously, just to have your Horcrux or whatever it is, right? But it's just his broom this time, as it would turn out.
We fixed it though.
Yeah, it's fair. All right.
Yeah.
It'll live on, again, another thing that lives on strictly in our hearts.
Yes.
Also, too, out of curiosity, Vadar477 in chat asks, will there be, like, if you have just 2 people on your fire team and you want to go in solo, is there a private mode you can dive into this with?
I believe if you hop in the higher difficulties, you can do that.
Excellent. Yeah. Very cool. All right. So everyone out there that wants to really challenge themselves, maybe attempt to solo all 50 waves? Yeah. I think our running theory is that it's impossible.
I think it's not possible. That's my charge to the community. Can you beat Legend solo by your, like, obviously that's what solo means, but can you beat Legend solo?
Someone's got to do it.
Challenge, somebody's gonna do it.
Is out there watching while on vacation, so don't you dare be working. I think
What?
he's got that challenge cut out for himself as well.
Hey, I've learned not to underestimate the Destiny community at all, especially like in Mission Whetstone. I thought it would take a lot longer for people to do that. That was quick.
Yeah.
I
mean, honestly, we underestimate the Guardians much as the same as the Witness at our own peril. So obviously, none of us want to do that. If anything, I'm just excited to go ahead and see this get in players' hands on April 9th.
Yeah, of course. I'm so excited to see like what strategies people come up with. As we see, we have another augment here where you are killing Spark Hoarders to spawn a Spark, and when you dunk the Rift, it actually does a chunk of damage to the boss, which if you're looking at the health bar at the bottom, you'll see it does a decent amount. So when you get to bosses that are a little chunkier, these are ways to do extra damage to them.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, okay. Not too shabby. I am also, I'll say it again, I'm so bitterly jealous I don't have Buried Bloodline right now. Like, you're making it look so good.
I was going to have to carry you.
It's good. It's a good gun. Especially if you're on other subclasses. It's just free Devour. Plus the Catalyst, you get Devour and Weaken pretty much on demand by using it.
It's also, too, maybe a small thing, but my personal favorite, just if I had to pick a champion mod, and I know it doesn't work like that, but I do have to give credit to anti-barrier, because it's every single barrier. It doesn't matter if it's a Hive Knight shield, doesn't matter if a Taken Vandal goes ahead and puts their shield up, or if a Hobgoblin goes ahead and cloisters up. Like, it's just like, I'm sorry, I'm just going to keep shooting you right in the face. This is not how this works for you.
Okay.
No! What happened?
All right, we're at a stream veto moments, obviously. No, I'm sorry, but this shame you have to live with.
That didn't happen.
Are you sure you want to hand out your Bungie ID still?
Yeah, I'll do it.
Okay,
all right. I don't back down.
I'll leave it to you on Twitter. That's fine.
I'll get cooked. It's fine.
Again, at our own peril, we underestimate. So is this the final boss encounter in the pyramid for this particular wave?
Yes, for this particular wave. I think we're on wave 30.
Yes.
Which means we're on our last wave, which is take the fight to the boss.
So it's definitely a little bit beefier than the last two bosses.
Yeah.
But we're going to
victory lap
and kill it in one shot.
Here we go.
Ooh. There we go.
So, and also too is that dunking mechanic that does extra damage to the boss. That's just is that like a modifier that kind of gets randomly added with each particular boss?
That's one of those augments, yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. Okay, cool. So there's no guarantee you're going to get that one necessarily. Nope. Even better. Excellent. All right.
Guys, let's do the Evo. No.
All right, let's keep running more waves. Also, too, actually, I saw a question pop up in chat. Again, I apologize. I missed the name. Twitch chat is moving fast, but thank you to all you Guardians for joining us. Is there any kind of a timer present in this activity, or do you just get to dive in and take your time?
The only timer is actually present in the purchase phase. We want to kind of keep that fast-paced flow going.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we just have the timer ticking up to see how long your session has been. But yeah, there's no timer. We're not counting down like 10 minutes to beat a whole wave or something.
Yeah. The only real fail condition is the fire team alive, and is ADU still standing?
Got it. Okay. And again, once the ADU is gone, that's it. That's it. Okay. You lose on wave one somehow. That's it.
Generally, we want to be pretty clear about our failure conditions.
Why would you lose on wave one?
That's fair. There's like a
you have to be terrible
like that. Okay.
to lose on wave
it's one
one.
ADU that kind of will transition.
Only the current ADU. It will move with you.
Got it. Okay. Thank you. That's perfect. Also, to chat, I see you asking for information on the loot to show us what weapons are on the way. Tune in next week. We'll have plenty for you. I can promise you that.
It better be good.
Shaxx is, if you go into the lore, Shaxx is working with some folks, some characters from the past.
That's right, yeah.
And also opening up his private reserve for our use.
Yeah.
So
is this something Shaxx has been sitting on for a while, or has he been working on this behind the scenes?
Well, there've been some weapons that have been frowned upon in the Crucible.
Sure. Yeah.
And but now's the time to bring those out.
Yeah. Vanguard outlawing stuff is not something we have time for at this point.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And if it's dangerous, now's the time to bust it out.
What does that mean?
High risk, high reward. That's how I see it.
Recluse,
And we, if anything,
Mountaintop,
are facing
coming
down our
back?
biggest risk in the Witness so far, obviously. So making sure that Shaxx goes ahead and opens those coffers.
Will the weapons be played with before?
Have you improved ability regeneration right now, or are you just that good?
I feel like you're not hearing me. I'm that guy.
You have mentioned that once or twice, actually. I don't know.
Noah maybe plays in a healthy amount of Destiny.
Sometimes I will, not even sometimes, oftentimes I get off work and immediately I'm like, okay.
I think there was on there, Noah, by the way, and I'm not sure if you saw that.
But I immediately get on and play. I do raids and dungeons. I mean, I've been doing a lot of the coil recently.
Yeah, my
Rosaraga.
My dad and I end up playing this game a lot, and so basically every single day after work, it's just like us texting each other, being like, "Hey, so when are you hopping on? When are you done with dinner?" That's fun. I imagine we'll probably more so do the easy modes, but I've got my
That's cool.
Crew I'm sure
I
I can
like.
dive in here with. Although honestly, I think at this point he's more loot paid.
Like
My dad than
any of my
us, so I think he'd
parents
have no
played,
problem diving in here.
Destiny or any kind of game.
About, right?
But no.
Yeah, bringing people together.
Yeah.
No, my stepmom doesn't. My stepdad doesn't. My biological dad doesn't. Well,
let's see.
He's not alive anymore.
I'm not sure if
but
you mentioned
anyways,
this one, but
he didn't play
Tom,
games.
is
He
there
was a nerd though.
He
He
went into the light, or is this still at
comics
1830?
and stuff like that.
It is at the
But
current
not
power.
games.
power?
And
Cool. That
my
hasn't changed.
biological mom doesn't either.
Thank you, Nikki Knight, for that question as well.
Oh, it's time. I can make.
But I think that's really cool. Like your family and parents play games.
Nice.
How much scrap you sitting on right now?
I was on 5,000.
Okay.
I was too late.
Scrapped for cash.
Scrapped for cash.
You guys on the narrative team,
department.
honestly, that is, I want to say obnoxiously good. It's always like, man,
We appreciate that.
You guys are just stealing our job.
Wave 34. I mean, it seems. Hey, it lasts a while.
Remaining intense, and again, we're still fighting the Hive. We were fighting the Fallen earlier.
Oh my, please.
So there will be multiple sets of the Witnesses armies going ahead and chasing down in this activity. Oh dear.
Usually it's just one super run.
Right, yeah. For the sake of the developer tools, went ahead and just swap that over just so folks can get a look.
You know it's getting harder when Noah stops flexing.
I know, right? Yeah.
He's actually having to,
there's a lot going on, you know?
There is.
Like,
Fairness. And I think also, too, this is something we sort of touched on yesterday when we were doing our initial playthroughs, but especially when you get to these higher levels and it's not just kind of the proverbial, comparatively speaking, walk in the park that the first few are, like, you really got to keep your comms crisp with your team. You got to make sure that you're really aligning, not even necessarily your champion mods, but maybe sending your scrap to one part to really go ahead and stymie the bad guys there so you can focus your attention, your abilities, your supers on another lane. Actually, also, too, to that end, obviously the pyramids have been doing some terraforming, but Tom, when you guys were building this activity, how are you guys going about even changing these maps? It looks like you guys have changed the architecture in some pretty significant ways.
Yeah, so when we looked at these maps, right, we want to have like a bunch of distinct lanes for the enemies to kind of like attack the ADU from, and they give you like these fronts that you have to divide your attention across the team. So you really have to be like, oh, they're coming from the left, they're coming from the right. You take this way, I take that way.
Yeah.
And like a lot of times in these maps, they're great for PvP.
Yeah.
But they didn't have the lanes we needed, and the artists and the designers working together like, oh, like what if like the pyramids just like evaporated this building right here.
Yeah.
And
it's like, great, let's do it.
Yeah. And that really, so we had to open up some channels in here, and like that, we got the great, fictional context where we can be like, no, it's Witnesses forces. It's not, it's not Todd.
Yeah. All right, and also too, I'm getting some word from the Traveler in the Sky. No, I hate to break it to you, but we have come to the end of our gameplay segment. You must return from your throne world.
I think I performed pretty well.
I'll be the first to agree with you, especially because I don't want to have to face you down in this activity. I want your help, honestly.
We'll just 1v1 in Crucible sometime.
Yeah, and also too is I think we can say that, but this is going to happen. We maybe won't say where, but this isn't the only location that players are going to have Onslaught available to them. Yeah, there will be more than that.
Okay,
obviously.
so it's more locations.
Noah, welcome back from the Throne World. It's good to see you.
I got a lot of tithes. I feel like Eris and I are comparable right now.
So you're going to turn into a hive? Never mind. I don't want to attempt turning into a hive god. That's fine. We'll leave that for your
That's the next
adventures.
expansion.
Obviously, that's true. Yeah, we'll see. But no, Noah, thank you very much for taking us through that.
Thanks
and
for having me.
Of course, for everyone here in Twitch chat, thank you for joining us. But before we go ahead and head on out, we obviously, this is just kind of the first look at what's to come in Destiny 2 Into the Light. Again, as a reminder, we're going to be doing 3 streams showing up all of this content that's going to be coming out, available to all players. And of course, before we go ahead and head off, Tom, you guys have all worked so heavily on this activity. Tom, we'll start with you. When Onslaught releases, when it gets in players' hands on April 9th, what are you most looking forward to?
I really want to see what players do with the defenses. I want to see what their strategies are. I know Noah's got his strategies. I've got mine. Maybe mine are a little less developed than his. And just to be able to see. Also, it's a great time to get back in and play. It's going to be a great time to play Destiny. It's going to be like new activities, tons of rewards. It's going to be fun. I'm going to be hopping in with me and my sons.
That's going to be awesome. Yeah, Jerome, as someone who's gone ahead and helped craft this story to bring this to life, obviously to make sure it fits into the Destiny universe so well, what are you most looking forward to when this releases on April 9th?
First of all, people getting absolutely hyped out of their minds for the final shape, and I want to see what builds arise out of this. It's a kind of a different strategic calculus than we've seen before, so I want to see how the players innovate and deal with this new challenge.
Strategic calculus. I'm going to file that one away. That's the narrative team, everyone. Geez, just making us all look bad. And of course, Noah, you've helped brick by brick put this together, this brand new activity. As someone who's obviously spent a ton of time playing it in addition to developing it, when it gets out into the wild, when you've got the chance to play it with your friends, what are you most looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to just getting my reps in, seeing how far we can get, especially on Legend, get extra rewards, have extra difficulty, just have fun with friends and trying to see, like Jerome was saying, like what builds arise, like what cool stories come out of playing things like this. Like we saw, you can have a big tormentor show up and like all these different things, those little emergent moments are what really makes Onslaught special at the end of the day. And I'm really proud of what the team and everyone's done. Like I'm a very small part of a larger team. team. Teams are way better than heroes.
Yeah,
and
you're here.
You know, everyone has done such a great job building Onslaught and just curating stuff for Into the Light. I'm so excited for what's going to show up in these next live streams.
Awesome. Yeah, and thank you guys all three for being here today to represent the team and help us kind of, you know, show this first glimpse at Into the Light to all the players out there. Obviously, it's pretty great to have you guys here, bright and early in the morning.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. Yep. All right, everyone. Well, I believe that's it from us here at Bungie HQ. As a quick reminder, again, we'll be back next week at the same Bungie time, same Bungie place to show you some even more content about Into the Light, including some returning Guardian favorite weapons, which you may have gotten a glimpse of today, a brand new look at an all-new social space as well that you can take your fire team down to, and even more information about upcoming rewards. Before we obviously set it off, I want to again thank our guests here for joining us today, to the entire Destiny development team who behind the scenes right now is working on this content, bringing it to life for all of us. Thank you all so much for your hard work. To Clayton and Ashley, our play testers in the back who went ahead and helped fill out the fire team. Getting some waves, there we go. Thank you very much. To the amazing team of producers who are here putting on the show, thank you all so much. Genuinely, it's amazing to have all of your assistants. They have the distinct difficulty of making me look good on camera, so believe me, their work is cut out for them. And to our team of moderators in chat, you're the real heroes. Thank you so much for your time. But in the meantime, again, a reminder, we'll be back next week at the same time and place to show you even more content. But until then, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and we'll see y'all Starside.
Pretty good. It looks fun.